DKI, Ken Copeland here, Director of Business Development with DKI Pro Supply, and it's time to take five. Today we're speaking with IBIX North America, and we have with us Kyle and Jake. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing great. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for joining us again. And if you guys see Kyle and Jake reaching for some paper towels, they're in their warehouse in Southern Florida, and it is hot and wet down there. So it might get a little bit shiny on their faces today. So, hey, thanks for joining us. Just a little bit of history. I mean, you guys are a fairly new sponsor with us, been with us almost a year now. How did IBIX get started?
Well, the main company got started in Italy, more in the historic preservation market, but we really saw a need to kind of, I guess, get into the remediation market because of the features of our units. So yeah, it's been a company for around 20 years, but yeah, we kind of tether into a lot of different industries, but now we're kind of shifting again into the more remediation market.
Very cool. So where are your machines used and what kind of applications?
So a lot of the applications involve a little bit more of the historic preservation because we can, we have a lot of features that allow us to do such applications. But, we've definitely been involved with a lot of soot removal, a lot of fire remediation. Again, with our features for the units, we're able to do those kind of application and offer a new technology for the remediation market.
Yeah, and the cool thing about what you guys do is you can remove the soot or remove the graffiti or whatever on the surface without hurting the surface below. So I mean that's a great feature that you have versus typical media or sandblasting.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
So what makes Pro Systems unique in the industry then?
So there's a few features on the Pro Systems that do differentiate IBIX from other blasting systems. And we don't call it blasting, we call it typically surface preparation because we're not a blasting system per se. Although we have a very similar concept to blasting, we're a little different because we are multimedia. We can use crushed glass, walnut shells, calcium, soda, and garnet. We can also run a very fine mesh garnet up to even a 350 mesh. And that's where the non-damaging or the non-destructive blasting comes into play. Additionally to our low PSI. So the typical blasting system will run a higher PSI. We can get down to 3 PSI and all the way up to the 120. So if a customer is looking to be very delicate, they can be. But with that same system, they can go ahead and blast a big project with that 120 PSI rating as well. So really, it allows them to have a very versatile system for multiple different jobs. Additionally, the abrasive valve on the system allows customers to control the amount of media they want to use for that job. So again, when you think about blasting, you think about a lot of dust or a lot of overspray and a lot of buildup at the end of the day. With the abrasive valve, we can control the amount of media we're using. So a customer can get into a job, remove soot, or go into a mold remediation job and not feel like they have a lot of cleanup at the end of the day as well. And the Pro Systems are also wet or dry. So if a customer is looking to do a dry blast, they can go ahead and just blast it dry with a flip of a switch on the gun. They can go ahead and wet blast as well. It's not going to run through the system, the water. It's just going to meet at the tip, allowing for that, again, back and forth between wet or dry. Let's say there's graffiti on a window. We can remove that graffiti without damaging or etching that window using soda and water. But then the next day, you can come back and remove graffiti on brick with a different media and different PSI. So really, it's all about allowing the customer to have different markets with one system. Lastly, all the accessories we have with the system. So we have different nozzles. We have nozzle kits with our contractor packages, different nozzles, span spray nozzles for more production rate. We have the lance, a 3-foot extension for if you're doing big production, you don't want to be real close with the project. You can stand a little bit further back and do that with the lance. We also have vacuum shrouds. These are very unique because with garnet, you can actually go ahead, blast, and vacuum at the same time and reuse that garnet because garnet is reusable up to 7 times. So this is a really cool way for customers to get a quicker return on investment and feel that they can just blast, recollect, but also have no cleanup at the end of the day. So really, between all the accessories, all the versatility in the system, it really makes us a little different than anywhere else, and how portable they are. As you can see, the system is on the table right now. This system weighs about 99 pounds and it's really portable, meant to be in crawl spaces for soot removal, any mold remediation. They can actually bring the system up with them and have it beside them versus have to have 100 feet of hose to get up to that attic. So in reality, it's just something that allows us to offer different markets with one system without having to get a bunch of different systems for different markets.
Right. Another nice thing is that obviously everyone's kind of dealing with COVID-19 right now. And so the other nice thing that Kyle mentioned is that the H2O feature on the unit for really suppressing dust. If you're in an area, let's say you're working on lead or fire or soot, and you really need to contain a lot of that overspray. The other nice thing is now with with COVID and everything that's happening, everyone's really focusing on being more of a antibacterial. So now we can actually take a separate, like a water tank, and hook it up to the actual system itself. So if you don't have a water source at the facility, to run a garden hose to the machine, you can actually put a tank in there and fill it with a liquid antibacterial. So now we're almost getting into more of a disinfectant, sanitizing kind of cleaning industry. So we're not just in historic preservation, we're in the remediation, we're in sanitization now and everything like that. So it's there's a lot of different avenues you can go down with these units, and definitely here to kind of educate the customers and where these can be used at, so it's not just used for one specific job. So yeah, that's what
So
we're trying to bring to the industry.
So that's interesting that you can actually use that for spraying disinfectant. And I guess with the fact that you have the different tips and you can control the pressure, that makes sense. I mean,
Yep.
so how fine? I mean, can you get into almost a fog type scenario, or is it just a really fine mist that would come out? What kind of I guess what would it look like when you're using that for spraying a disinfectant?
Right. So you can actually tether the amount of water that you're using. So if you want to tether it and adjust it to a light mist, well, you can do that. So, I mean, we know that that is just enough, or that's acceptable for when doing, let's say, concrete cleaning or anything, and that's producing silica. You only need really a light mist to contain a lot of those dangerous toxins or those particles. So, but if you're looking for a larger mist for, let's say, when you're done at the end of the day and you want to rinse off that surface, once you tether it to the large mist, you're really getting just not not very much like a pressure washer, where you're working with a very small tip and it's more of like a knife pattern. It's a large mist that is perfect for any kind of dust suppression or just applying a disinfectant to it. So it's not a concentrated straight, mist like that. It's just more of like a larger one, but still, it's not going to be all over the place. It really does make cleanup and, cleaning that and rinsing that surface really nice at the end of the day.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what do you think is the most interesting project that IBIX has been a part of?
Well, we've done a lot that are kind of dating back on old government buildings. We did the Washington, D.C. library, the Library of Congress, I'm sorry, which is a marble cleaning job. So, that's another kind of example as far as the different markets that we can do everything from, industrial to remediation to now we're doing marble cleaning when it comes to like baking soda and water. We're still able to be very delicate. We've done the West Point Chapel in New York, as well as the Parliament buildings back, that were around from like 1859 as well. We did the oldest recorded schoolhouse, which is a red cedar wood. It's about 200 years old. So that was all cleaned with the IBIX Pro 25 system, which is the system that is included with the contractor package. So,
Basically, the bestseller. We really focus on the 25 contractor package with remediation because, again, it's an all-in-one package that allows customers to just know that once they get it, they can go out and start doing a lot of remediation, soot removal, but also have that portability at the same time. So really, number one system for production as well as portability, and really that's what we focus on when it comes to remediation companies.
And that's the one that would have the most accessories and most flexibility as far as different applications as well, correct?
All systems all have accessories, their own kind of accessories, but
Okay.
we really like this one because it still allows production so any customer that's looking to do a lot of production, they can use the system for that, but also small enough to get into those crawl spaces. So really it's a perfect balance for someone who's looking to be versatile with big projects, but also have the crawl space portability.
Very cool. Very cool. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. I mean, it's been a great conversation. IBIX is a great partner in sponsoring the prototype program. And I know I want to get the message out there because you guys have something that's very valuable. And we're looking at ways to save our members time, make them more efficient, as well as get them into different different types of work. And this does that. So DCAT members, if you're watching this and this doesn't pertain to your, if you're not a project manager, if you don't deal with this type of application, please get this to the people who do. We're going to have some contact information at the end of this video. IBIX, like I say, they're a great partner. They love to get connected with you. Thank you guys very much and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.